All right, so let's try this again. This is a pre-recorded version of what was supposed to be a live version coming to you from Haiti tonight. I am back inside with my little setup that I had that I was hoping was going to work initially, which didn't, and then I ended up going outside and blah, blah, blah. So here we go again. This is, we'll call it take 18. So I'm going to start over because I don't know how many people or what you heard, or sounded like a lot of the stuff was cutting out. But I'll go back to the beginning. So about 2 years ago, almost 2 years to the day, I came to Haiti for the first time. I'm currently in a city called Wanament. I won't even try to spell it for you because it's way too long, but it sounds like Wanament. So we say Wanament. And Wanament is on the border of the Dominican Republic and Haiti in the Northeast Department. They call them departments. And came here 2 years ago on a mission trip with a team from Hudson, from Christ Community Chapel, and came through to work with an organization down here called Institution Univers. Univers is a Haitian-based school, and they have a medical clinic as well, and a couple other things that go on down here. The organization itself that's based in the United States is called COCINA, C-O-C-I-N-A, and it's an acronym. It's not Spanish for kitchen. That is the typical response, so that's not what it is. It is an acronym that stands for Coalition of Children in Need Association. So in 1994, almost 25 years ago, a guy named Hughes Bastian started COCINA, the funding arm of the school, basically to as a U.S.-based funding arm to be able to sponsor and provide money for what was happening in Haiti. As he started a school at the time, was a one-room kindergarten and had 84 kids, I believe. And now, almost 25 years later, we have a full school, K through 13th grade, and we've got roughly 2,400 or so kids from, like I said, K through 13, and a medical clinic that treats about 50,000 people a year. We have an apartment complex that I am staying at. This is where I am here. That's an economic development finance generator piece for the organization. And then we have a farm, we have a bakery, we have several other pieces that are all connected. So that's what I do, and that's kind of the original, that's the organization, and that's how I got connected with this, was coming on this mission trip. So I'd come, that was February 2016, came with Audrey. She was on the trip as well. There's about 30 of us, and just had an amazing experience. And like most people, I would assume that go on a mission trip, they have some sort of, they have a pretty good experience with what they went through, and it's usually a very high point, and there's just a lot of wonderful things that take place. I think for me, it just happened to be maybe unique, maybe not, but for me, it seemed a little unique, where I truly fell in love with what was going on here. The amount of poverty, and yet the amount of pride and hard work that these people have in the midst of the situation that they're in is unreal. And then you also look at things like the amount of trash. Just there's no central sanitation. There's no things, there's, I think I just heard actually tonight that there is literally one trash truck in the city of Wanament, and Wanament has about 130,000 people, I think, something like that. So you can imagine, and then that times every city in the country, and it's just overwhelming with trash. And so what I noticed when I was here was a lot of that trash was not just trash, but it was something that was recyclable. And so I got into, I won't bore you with the details, but I got into a little side project that is still in the works, and hopefully will come to fruition at some point. But it was related to taking some of the trash here, recycling it, and turning it into something that can be sold. So because of that, I happened to stay in touch with what was going on in Haiti, and with the group that had come down here and that. And so that summer, I happened to go to a board meeting for COCINA that was being hosted up in Hudson. And So this was July 29th of 2016. I was there, like I said, just to kind of talk to some people about this idea that I had. I was working with a friend of mine and partner that came on the trip, Richard White. So Richard, if you're watching, thanks, bud, for being you. So I'd gone to this board meeting, was sitting kind of in the back of the room and just kind of, there to learn, hear a little bit more about what was going on, but also to share with a few people that were involved in Haiti about what we were doing with the fabric and this kind of stuff. So as I'm sitting there, they're going through kind of each of the main areas, and the ones I just talked about, the school and the medical clinic and the farm and the apartments and the bakery and all these pieces. And while there was a lot of great things happening, there was also a lot of challenges. And so as they started talking through those things, one of the things was a new student sponsorship program that was being kicked off that was literally in the very, very early stages. And as they started talking through some of these challenges and opportunities, one of the things they kept coming back to was that they needed someone on the ground in Haiti to do a lot of these things, to be this liaison basically between what's happening here in Haiti and the board and the supporters and donors and what we call champions, the people that were back in the States that are there to support and help the ministry down here. There was lack in some communication and therefore some things were missing and stuff like that. So what they started to say was, boy, it would be great if we had somebody who could help with the student sponsorship program. So it'd be cool if they had online, digital website type experience. It'd be great from a communication perspective because we need somebody who can send out emails and communicate and help to fundraise and do a lot of the marketing stuff with the organization. So it'd be great if they had that skill too. And it would also be nice if they had some flexibility for travel, either to move down permanently or to be able to go back and forth and have that flexibility for travel. It'd be awesome to have somebody who already had a passion for Haiti and loved what was going on down there. Awesome if somebody, obviously they needed to have a passion for Christ and wanting to share the gospel and what's going on that side as well. And all these boxes, if you know who I am and you know anything about me, I own a digital marketing company. We do website design. Because I'm the owner, I have flexibility in travel. Clearly had fallen in love with Haiti and already fell in love with Christ. So all that added up, and I'm sitting in the back of this room literally with tingles going through my body and my hair raising up, and I'm even getting it right now as I say that. But it was, what I felt like was a genuine calling of God saying, hey, this is something that I want you to do. But I have a tendency, if you know me, to jump into things like this. Not necessarily all just, faith-based, but businesses and new ideas and all this kind of stuff that I just jump into a lot without thinking too much. And so I'm kind of known for, if you're close to me, and for my wife, unfortunately, I apologize, but especially she is close to me and knows me that way. I tend to jump into these kind of things. But I wanted to be really, really clear on this one because it was a big deal. It wasn't something that just was, coming out of nowhere. So I went up to the current president at the time, Tony Iannetta, and I said, I don't know what's going on, Tony, but everything that they just said basically described me to a T. I mean, every single piece of it. I don't know what it means. I don't know, what I'm supposed to do about it exactly, but I just wanted to tell you that this is something that I felt, as I went through this meeting. And he said, that's awesome, let's talk about it. The position didn't exist. There wasn't any details around it. It literally had just kind of come up in this meeting. So fast forward about 30 days, and I am the new Director of Development and Sponsorships for Cosina. Literally 30 days. So July 29th was the board meeting, and September 1st I started. So it was pretty quick timing. But if I back up for a second, I will say back to kind of this whole making a decision in a quick way. I really wanted to think through this and pray about it and not jump into something that was this big of a deal. And so I did that. And for me, although for most people they would have done something like this, it would have taken them 6 months to make a decision. But for me, the fact that I waited 36 hours to talk to Ann about it was a pretty big deal. So that was indeed the case. It was about noon on Saturday the 29th that I had, had this feeling, had this conversation with Tony, and kind of went through this whole deal. And I really, for the next 24, 36 hours or so, I'd almost thought of nothing else. And so that night, Sunday night, I am sitting in bed with Ann. We're kind of wrapping up the day, and I said, so yesterday at the board meeting, this kind of came up, and this is something that maybe I'm thinking about doing, and what do you think? And I was trying to tread lightly because it was a big deal, but true to her, who she is and what she has always done, and what makes, I think, our marriage and relationship great is she said, well, sounds like you're going to Haiti. And she was in. She jumped in, and although, it wasn't clear, no concerns, or, there was obviously, stuff we had to talk through, but she realized that it was something that I truly had a passion for and wanted to do, so she was all in. And I think that is, as I talk about this whole other side of the selfie mentality, this show that I do here is meant to be mostly from the male side, right? So the husband, the boyfriend, the fiance, whatever it is, significant other of one of the females in network marketing. And so the idea of us as husbands, boyfriends, significant others, supporting and being there for our wives and girlfriends and whatever, as they're jumping into something that may be new to them, may be different, may be a challenge, may be something that they're kind of scared to get into or whatever. But it also works the other way, and that's why I wanted to share tonight about this whole piece, which was, it's not just from a husband to the spouse or boyfriend to the girlfriend, but it also goes the other way. And I think offering that support, and Ann's jumping right in and saying, yep, this is, I feel you, I hear you, I'm in with you, I think it's awesome. And that's where I think one of the wonderful things about our relationship. So, as I look at some of the other pieces related to, what made this all work, is, so I travel once a month, roughly, for about a week at a time. I come down here, and it's not like, there aren't other people that travel and do, traveling for their business, and they go away for a lot of times and are away for multiple days at a time and things like that. But in this case, I'm going to a third world country. Definitely is a little bit different. Communication sometimes is a little rough. As if you watched my live video, you could tell that internet is not great. So, that's not always the easiest thing. And Ann is supportive of that, and she knows that I'm going to be gone. She knows, that I do this once a month. The kids know, which is awesome too, but that, what Ann has to be able to do is balance all this stuff minus one spouse for, for a week at a time, and getting people from one place to the other, the kids, and all the stuff that has to happen that usually I can help jump in on, she's doing 100% on her own. And so her ability to jump in and support and never make me feel guilty. I mean, we joke about it sometimes, that, but it's purely joking. There's genuinely never any guilt about me being gone. There's nothing that is non-supportive. I mean, she truly is there and wants me to do, and sees what I do as my passion, and what it is that I want to do as the same that I've kind of said in some of the previous videos that I see in her, and I want to drive and fulfill and help her fulfill and support the passion and desire that she has to make a difference in women's lives, that kind of thing. So that is a big piece. I think from a financial standpoint also, it's a big deal. I could be working a full-time job and making good money all the time and all that kind of stuff, and while I get paid a little bit for what I do here, and some expenses paid and that kind of thing, it's certainly not what I could be doing if I was doing something else. And so as the network marketing side of what Ann does, but also just her working what she does at Life Center, at the boot camp stuff and all this, that that she is there and understands there are times when things are tough, times when things might be tight and we can't do something in particular or whatever, and she understands it, she gets it, and she's on board with it. And while it's not easy all the time, by no means is it hunky-dory and rainbows and butterflies every time. She understands it, and she knows that this is my passion, and that's why I go. So that's on the financial side. The flexibility is great. Her ability to be flexible because of the work that she does. Obviously, the coaching, fitness coaching stuff that she does has more time specific to it. But the fact that she does network marketing allows her to be flexible. So when I'm gone, her schedule can change and can float and can do different things. So the fact that she's in what she's in on the network marketing side, direct sales side, does give me the flexibility and her the flexibility to be able to kind of adjust as we need to. So it's really nice to be able to have that side and kind of the match between the two of us to be able to have and show that ability from a flexible standpoint. What I would say in a big way that I want to point out in screaming letters that go across the sky, if I could do some skywriting here in Haiti, is that we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Anna's not perfect. Our family's not perfect. Nobody is, but I do sometimes, and Ann feels it sometimes, but people look at us and say, oh, you're doing such great things, or you're whatever, and I think it is neat. It is an awesome opportunity that we have to do, but I also want to make sure that we're not put on a pedestal. We're not something special. We're not any different than you or anybody else. We've chosen and made some decisions. We've jumped in on things that maybe maybe harder for some people, but there are other people that do harder things. So I want to make sure I don't want this to come across as though look at Matt and Ann, they're the perfect couple, and they, everything is wonderful in their lives. And look at Matt, oh, he goes and he does mission work, and look at Ann, she's always helping people and all. I mean, we do that, and that's truly what we do, but that's also not meant to be a way that we try to make ourselves look better than what we really are. It just is what our passion is. It's what our hearts are, and so I want to be clear that it's not just, not that not just, but it's not something that we feel that is, I think sometimes we get the feeling that people think we're better than we are. And I don't, that may sound crazy, but, the idea is that it's, we're just people. We make mistakes, we screw up, all that, I guess I don't have to keep harping on that, but I just wanted to make sure that was clear. So a couple of things I wanted to share was some of the specifics about how Ann does support me, and it's awesome that she does. I think there's some direct ways and some indirect ways. From a direct standpoint, obviously back to the beginning where she jumped in right away and was supportive and loving and on board with what we did. One of the things I didn't mention in that 30-day period from July to September, end of July to September, Audrey was going away to college, so she was leaving the roost, and so we sold our house in Stowe. We moved into a condominium to downsize, basically. We realized that one child moving and me traveling a lot, we weren't going to need as much space and as much stuff, so we downsized to a condo. So we sold a house, bought a house, moved to a different city, had a child go off to college, all that stuff, and I jumped into a part-time role and traveling internationally on a monthly basis, all within 30 days. So it got pretty crazy, pretty hectic. And again, on her side, she was right in it, and it was crazy, and it was not easy. And as we went through that process, there were some stressful times and whatever, but the way that she, like I said, from a direct support standpoint, is that she was there. She went through it. She was in it. She never said, oh, I can't believe we're doing this. Why are we doing this? It would be so much easier if we were just in our same place where we were before, and all that kind of stuff. It never came up. So that's one of the direct things. I think some of the other stuff, obviously what I do is try to raise money. And so she's always sharing my posts. She's always telling people about Cocina and about Haiti and Univer and everything that we have going on down here. And it happens all the time. So it's a way that she can help support me. And I know we talk about on the other side, as husbands to our wives who are in the network marketing side, is sharing those things and putting out there and trying to get other people interested in what she's doing, and either to join with her or to buy stuff from her or whatever. She does the same thing for everything that I do, both on my other business side of things, but also here with Cosina stuff. So it's really neat. I can always, I shoot her a text and say, hey, would you mind sharing a post that I just put out there? And a lot of times she'll say, I did already, or I saw it already, or whatever. So she's on it, and she loves doing that, and that's a way that she supports me directly. She's also done, we hosted a party just last month for Cosina as a fundraising event. And again, if you know my wife, we kind of brought it up a little bit before, she's not a huge people person, although she comes across that way a little bit through the internet. In physical personness, she's not huge at that type of stuff. So the fact that she was willing and able and did with flying colors to put on an event that we had a few weeks ago to offer support to what I'm doing here is awesome. She's actually also done through Unique, she's done some things where she does giveaways, and not giveaways, like charity donation kind of stuff. So a percentage of what she makes whenever she sells over a course of a month or something like that, she's designated that money directly to Cosina, which is awesome. So those are some things that I would say are kind of on the direct side. I think on an indirect side, I keep looking down at my notes. I apologize for you having a look at my bald head for just a second, but I think the indirect piece I think is that she really does know me. She knows my passion for Haiti. She knows my passion for what's going on down here. And so that, from an indirect perspective, there's never guilt. There's never, boy, I wish you didn't have to go this time. Or, it's just, she's fully there. And like I said, it's a subtle kind of an indirect piece, where some of the other ones, are physical, direct things that we can see. And I can say that, this is exactly what she does. But in this case, it's just as an underlying, support, and it's just there, and she loves me. She has that support. She sees my passion, and I'm hoping as the family gets to come down here for the first time in this coming June, July, that she will fall in love as much as I have, and the kids as well. Audrey has already, so I know that's the case, but the boys and Anne have not been down here, so we're really looking forward to having them down here and really see firsthand what it is that I love about this place. And the other piece I think is just the overarching support, and what she does. She could, in a lot of situations, she could complain about it. She could give me a hard time about it. She could speak poorly to the kids about it to make me look bad in front of them. There's all kinds of stuff that she could do, and that I do see other people do, and it's frustrating to see. But she doesn't do that. She is all on board. Again, there's some joking about it, but mostly it's joking on the positive side, because I think she says she sleeps better when I'm gone, because she gets the whole bed to herself. So there's no negative to it. She actually likes it when I go. So maybe that's something that maybe I should be concerned about. I don't know. But like I said, I think it's just as the overarching support. It's an amazing, amazing thing to be able to be in a situation, in a relationship, where you can follow what you love to do. You can follow your passion. You can make an impact, and you can have the love of your life standing next to you doing it while you're doing it. And the support that she offers, the love that she offers, I know she kind of joked on the live video that she loved hearing it because she sounded so awesome, but she is awesome. And I wanted to thank her for that, and thank the kids for what they do and their support of what I do, and knowing that I'm going to be gone, and hopefully helping out when I'm gone and that kind of stuff. So that's what I got for today. Like I said, it goes both ways. The idea behind the other side of the selfie is mostly focused on us husbands and us guys that are supporting our spouses and significant others in what they do from a network marketing standpoint and that kind of thing. But I do want to point out the fact that it's not just a one-way street, and that it goes both ways. And so spouses, women, girlfriends, fiancés, significant others, make sure that you're offering it back. And it makes it a lot easier for your husband or significant other to give it to you whenever you're giving it to him. So just the two-way street, I think, is a big piece. I can't say that enough. So I'm going to end it with this. Peace out from the other side of the selfie. Hopefully this message recorded, and luckily it wasn't live, and I'm going to upload it, and hopefully you guys can see it tonight, and hopefully as many people will watch it and get something out of it. Thanks for watching. See ya.